Welcome to On the Floor. I'm David Bell. Today I'm here with John Carter, CEO of Noah Technology. John, how you doing?
Doing great, David. Glad to be here in this great facility today.
We have 10 questions for you today, John. We might go over a little bit, but we'll get into some deep things about your journey and how you become the CEO of Noah. First question: where did it all start for you?
Well, interestingly, there's a guy named Alan Marty in California that he's the original founder of Noah, and he had this idea in his driveway, trying to help his daughter shoot better. And we always joke the original Noah system was a rake attached to a ladder. And so he was trying to teach her to shoot over the rake. It didn't work very well, and so the idea became, boy, wouldn't it be great to give a player feedback on something that they can't really see themselves? And so the trajectory of the shot was the main thing at that point. And so Alan had did a little bit of initial work and created a prototype, and then he and I connected. And I won't bore you with all the details there, but I had started another tech company that had just merged with another company, and so I was available at that time. And I went out primarily, I just wanted to buy a system because I had two sons that were really into basketball, and I, listen, I'm a nerd, I'm an engineer, I'm a basketball guy, and I'm an entrepreneur and a tech guy. So all those things, this is just such a perfect fit for me. And so when Alan and I met and we spent a little time together, we got to know each other better. And a few months later, I was CEO of the company, and I've been running and building the company ever since. And he's a venture guy in the Bay Area, and he's very active, but not in the day-to-day stuff of Noah. But that's how I connected, and I've been just so passionate about this stuff and been doing it ever since.
Shooting over the rake is incredible. To think, to try to get the arc up, and to know that you're outside, over the rake. They talk about shooting in the barn. It really resonates to me when you say things like that. A little personal. What drives you every day?
That can be a little bit tough. It's different for different people, but I would like to think I'm a continuous learner. I love to learn through new things, even though I'm an old guy. But I get up every day hoping to learn something new, and I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. I love to be involved in building things that make players better. I love to see the light go off in players, and you've seen it, I know, here and working with players. That gets me going more than anything else out there. And so the stuff that we're doing, we know has had a tremendous impact. It hasn't been easy. You're probably going to ask me a question about that as well. That it wasn't always that everybody just loved our stuff. So it's a little bit of a journey there.
Sure. What do you say was the moment that changed for you when your light bulb went off, when it really hit home?
I would say for me, it was very early because early on, I kind of wedged my way into some NBA gyms. I mean, I was just barnstorming gyms anywhere and everywhere to get in front of people. And, and I saw some improvement with players really early. The problem early, though, was there was a lot of people. Keep in mind, I've been at this for over 20 years. There were a lot of people that didn't want anything to do with analytics, didn't want anything to do with computers. If I had a nickel for every time a coach told me, look, you're a great guy, I know what you guys are doing, this is probably good, but you can't teach a guy to shoot with a computer. That's a common quote from 15, 20 years ago. And so, but I tell people I was too hard-headed to quit. We kept going and basically just fought to survive for a long time. And when things really, really changed for us is in that 16, 17 time frame. The technology, and this sounds arrogant, but I don't mean it that way. Our ideas were before their time. There was not the affordable technology was not available to do the things that we really wanted to do. And so we more or less had to wait, for things to develop. And in that 15, 16 time frame, depth sensors got better, and then our product got a lot better. And then in 2017, things really, really changed for us and changed quickly. And like the sensors you have in your facility everywhere, the depth sensors allows us to track the ball in 3D space. And now we get all shots, we got rim maps, we got just a lot more compelling information for players.
Yeah, I mean that's a journey to a destination right there. I mean, ahead of your time, and now with basketball so analytical, you guys just you fit the mold and you guys are running away with it. That's incredible, John. How have you handled the pressure and the setbacks?
Well, that's a tough one, for any entrepreneur or any aspiring basketball player or whatever it is. Um, you have to grind through it. I mean, at the end of the day, nothing's easy. Generally, I know there's some people that have easy success. It hasn't been that way for us. I can tell you that much. But I think you have to grind through it every day. And, we have had so many setbacks along the way, but we've never wavered. We've never wavered from the fact that we believed in what we were doing, and we believed it would eventually, like for example, one of our goals was to get all the NBA teams. Well, we have 28 of the 30 NBA teams as customers today, and we work with them almost daily. But that took a number of years to get there. But I think that's one thing that's lacking today in players and the persistence, just the stick to itness, of just continuing to grind through things to get things to the finish line, to get better and to get better every day.
So with that grind comes that persistence and what would you say was your proudest moment?
Probably the proudest moment was in 2017. So we went to the Sloan Sports Conference, which is put on by MIT. It's the largest analytics conference in the world. And we'd never been there before. And we showed up, we entered the research poster competition. We entered, even though we were still such a small company, we were able to enter their startup competition, even though we'd been around for a number of years. And we won everything. We won the research poster competition. We won the startup competition. We got our picture with the big check and all of that stuff. And so it was just such a proud moment because, that was 2017. We sold our first commercial product in '05. I started with this in Allen with 3 or 4, somewhere in there. And so it was just a really cool culmination of a lot of hard work. And literally right after that, we had NBA teams all over us. So yeah.
Could you talk about someone who's really influenced your journey along this way?
A lot of people have a specific mentor. For me, it was my dad and a gentleman named Chet Deco. So my first job out of college, I went to work for a company called Group Deco, and I did that for 8 years. And he was such a unique guy. He was in his 60s, but he so believed in young people. And so I'm that way today. If you go around the NOAA office, I'm like the only old guy there. And so Chet agreed. He just believed in young people. He gave me responsibility and experience. I started up multiple manufacturing plants. My last year there, I was running a $90 million a year business. And he just provided me experience and mentorship that you just can't purchase. You just can't buy it. And then, my dad's influence he was a farmer. It's kind of interesting as well. I never had any intention of doing any of this stuff. I had planned to be a farmer. But farming was pretty tough when I graduated high school and decided to go to college, and kind of the rest is history. But those are the two that influenced me the most, was my dad and Mr. Deco.
A farmer. That's wild. That's wild how the trajectory turned for you.
Yeah.
Crazy. Couple more questions. What advice would you give your younger self?
Be more patient. That's an easy and quick answer, but be more patient, and I think a lot of us lack patience. It's always tough for me when you're barnstorming gyms or you're speaking at a clinic and not see people really get it. And I take that personally, that I must not be doing a good job at this. But that's obviously all changed now. But I think that is the biggest thing. We lack patience today as a society. And I think a lot of that ties into the grind as well, of being patient and working through things.
So tell us what's next for you. I know there's a lot of things on the map. I think last time we spoke, it was some really interesting things going on. Obviously, you guys with analytics being so big right now, I mean, I'm sure everybody's knocking at your door, but I'm sure that you guys have a path that you wanna stay on and get to. So what's next?
So a few things. One is international expansion, and you're kind enough to let us use your facility today. We have multiple Japanese basketball league (JBL) teams coming in here today to get a look at the tech. The biggest push for us right now, which is going to affect Shoot 360 long term as well, is we are now doing a full motion capture analysis, biomechanics analysis on the shot. And so we've already installed this at a couple of NBA teams. We have it installed at our facility. And so what this means, David, so that everybody has opinions about shooting, okay? The stuff we do around arc depth and left, right, that's not opinion stuff. That's fact. Those are just facts, and that's widely accepted now, which is great. But there's still a lot of opinions about how I should hold, how I should load, all of those type things. That is the next big goal for NOAA. And this, I told the coaching you clinic I spoke at yesterday, I told those people, this is one of the most anticipated years of my career. I have been chasing this shooting puzzle for over 20 years. And we have been focused on the ball, and that's made a huge impact on a lot of players and a lot of programs. But now we are going to understand fully what are the things that make a great shooter. What really is the perfect shot? How many perfect shots are there? How many different shot types are the most efficient? You think about to talk about the Splash Brother days, Steph Curry's kind of a one-piece motion. I mean, he takes that ball right off the bounce, right to the pocket, right out. Klay Thompson is the prototype two-piece shooter, just like you would teach it, typically. And so understanding all the different nuances, and we are going to collect the data to really and truly fully understand that. And so again, we have 2 teams installed. We have multiple others. That's the reason we're here at Summer League, is talking to teams. And so we will be we'll be doing quite a few of those other installs, and that's going to allow us to really get the answers. And the plan is to roll that down to Shoot 360 so that when kids come through here, you've now got the ability to break their shot down in a different way outside of just all the ball metrics. So that's the most important thing right now. We also have a much easier to install, cheaper product for high school teams. As you know, high school teams, they don't have the resources to go get up in the ceiling and install sensors and all those type things. And so this works out well. They can track their games. There's all kinds of really neat things with that product. That product's been out about a year. It's going great with that product. But those are the 2 biggest things at this time. But super excited about the motion capture stuff and really understanding shot mechanics and how to make things better. And how to improve faster.
Yeah, the biomechanics is so interesting, especially now with the analytics and being able to track those things in game. But for kids, I think that's something that even the parents need to learn a little bit more on, now that we know where the ball is, the release point of the ball and the technology now. But now we have the makeup of the athletes at a young age, because those are the biggest questions. Should the elbow be out? Should the elbow be in? Are the hips back? Are feet square? Are hips loading to get that release up? So you're going to answer so many more questions. It seems like you're already ahead of your time on this one too. Anything else that you think that the athletes and the basketball players around the world should be focused on when it comes to shooting? And obviously we talk about the journey and the destination of how to get there and the grind and being patient. Is there anything else that you would like to share that these athletes can kind of stick to their mind and stick to the game plan? Also, it's not just about the athletes, about the parents along the way. Is there anything that you want to share on that note?
One of the big things that we live in a microwave society as well, and so, I tell people all the time, you can buy NOAAs and install them. If you don't use it, it's not going to make you any better. You can get a Shoot 360 membership and not show up. It's not going to make you any better. So, I think the key thing, we've done studies on this, you can absolutely learn and improve faster in a gym like this. No question about that. Been proven too many times. But you still have to put in the work, and if there's one tidbit I would tell you, that I would, and this has kind of been a crusade for a long time. At the NBA and college level, and we have, 13 of the 16 Sweet 16 teams last year, NOAA customers. All the Final Four teams have our NOAA Pro system this past year. 28 NBA customers, multiple, over half the WNBA has our Pro system. Here's the thing. Even at that level, players miss short, to be precise, 1.95, so almost twice as often as they miss long. It's still a problem. We've made huge progress in getting people to shoot deeper in the basket. At the high school level, it's as much as 5-1. And so, this is a little off track, but get the ball to the back of the rim, and it's like the equivalent in golf of the short putt. They never go in, they just are not going to go in. So that's the one thing I would tell, get in the gym, put in the work, use this tech that's going to get you there faster. But just a one thing it's kind of we found that's the cardinal sin is just get the ball to the back of the rim, get the ball deep in the basket.
So interesting. A lot of the times when I'm training my guys, it's always a long miss is a good miss. So, it gives yourself a chance. So that's a very interesting that you say that. Well, John, thank you for sharing some of your knowledge and your background and your journey. We can't wait for what's in store for NOAA and you as well. Thank you for coming today.
Absolutely, David. Enjoyed it. Anytime.